Hello, Speed Gaming 5. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm sure I'll find out in a moment. How's everybody doing? I am going to try to step in here and fill in for some commentary for this excellent matchup between Stump and Matrick, running 100% item collection. And it looks like Matrick's off to a bit of an early lead here, getting to the various suit after a nicely done crate quick kill. Once again, my name is Kip, and I'm going to try to fill in as best I can. I will be honest with you, I might have to step away for a few minutes at a time. I'll just be frank with you, I wasn't planning on doing comms for this, but I think we're shy commentary spot today, so I'm going to try to fill in as best I can. So Matrick here grabbed his various suit. Looks like both runners are not doing the early powerbomb route, which I will go ahead and admit to you is not a very common thing. Not very many people do that. But if you do get early power bombs in the red tower, you can go ahead and grab these crate missiles on the way out, but they'll be returning to this spot later. In the meantime, Stump cleans up his crate quick kill as well. Nicely done. And Matrick will now move on to his Norfair item collection, at least in Upper Norfair. How's everybody doing today? Happy, what's today? Is today Wednesday? Sorry, I'm being sincere. I'm starting to lose track of what the days are. Even though I'm working every day, it's like I can't really keep track of what day it is. But I hope you're having a nice Wednesday, if that is actually what the day is. All right, Matrick grabbing that high jump boots energy tank and gonna grab the oh so awesome high jump boots while Stump is grabbing his Kraid tank. Matrick will now grab the last missile in this room here, the high jump boots missile, before heading over to Bubble Mountain to do some item collection to get some of the other major items such as Speed Booster and Wave Beam. Looks like I'm off to a good start for getting the day right. That's good. Matrick entering Cathedral here. This is one of the rooms that actually, in my opinion, has one of the items or the missile items that is kind of easy to overlook on a casual playthrough. And also, sometimes if you're going to skip an item accidentally when doing your 100% run, this is one that can sneak up on you. But he remembers to get it, no problem. He's now out of super missiles, which isn't an issue. He's going to need one to get into this super missile, or excuse me, super missile. He's going to need this to get into the speed boost room up here, but luckily there's a CAC attack at the top of the room that should drop a super missile like 99% of the time or whatever, so looks like he was able to get that. He does a nice job of slowing down to make sure that Waver does not eat his super, and now he's on to grab the speed missile pack as well as the speed booster. In the meantime, my puppy has just woken up from her nap and is proceeding to chew wildly on my hand while I try to pet her, so off to a good start. We are indeed on 100% item collection. We have it at the bottom left of the screen there. This is a multi-category tournament, but we try to keep everyone updated because, you know, the categories are pretty drastically different. So the other categories on the docket for this week, in addition to 100% item collection, are low percent ice and GT Classic. So this should be a fun week. So far, I think we've seen several 100% runs. I don't know if we've seen a GT Classic. I think we've seen at least 1 or 2 GT Classics so far, but no low ices yet. I'm hoping that ends up being not the case by the end of the week. I hope we see at least a few. The dog that I have, she's a new puppy. Oh, well, hello there, sweetie. She just wanted to say hello to everybody. She's about 10 weeks old now. I've had her for about 3 weeks. She is a mix between, her father was a black lab, the mother is a golden doodle. Ow. And her name is Samus, actually. I call her Sam most of the time. And she took a lot of the traits of the father. So if you saw her, you would think she was a black lab. So she's very mouthy, and but she's a sweetheart when she wants to be. So in a minute, I probably need to take her out. I'm sorry, again, I'm filling in sort of last second here as an emergency fill-in. But I will be back if I do have to get up. So y'all seem to make it pretty far without me anyway, so I imagine you guys can still do okay. Stump grabbing his speed booster here. And Matrick cleans up his wave beam location, including the wave missiles as well as the wave beam itself. And he will use that newly acquired wave beam to open up that blue gate so he can get down to the Crocomire section here. And the Croc area will actually have multiple items. I think we have 1 energy tank, 2 missiles, 1 power bomb, and the grapple location. And then technically, if you include the Croc escape on the way out, there will be another missile pack before getting back to the business center. I've mentioned this before. I kind of feel like Croc, in a way, is sort of like a puppy. Okay, I mean, in his own way, of all the monsters, he's, I guess, kind of the cutest, and seems to be pretty friendly, other than the fact that you ran into his lair and then decided to start shooting him. It seems to me like you could probably use him as a pet and pet him and play with him and train him to do tricks if you were inclined to do so. But Samus is not interested in that. She's just more interested in death and destruction. So she sends him to an acid bath death. In the meantime, Stump, grabbing his wave beam, and is heading down to the Crocomar location as well. All right, Matrick grabbing his first power bomb pack of the run. And he's going to continue down to collect these missile packs as well as the grapple beam. Stump, in the meantime, using some nice charge shots to keep Croc backing up here. If you were to do the, let's go ahead and discuss real quick. Technically, this is, as Tony pointed out in chat, this is like the classic Hundo route. I still run this route. I think it's great. I think it's the best route to run when you're, kind of just getting used to 100% and speedrunning in general. With this route, though, you have to hit Crocomire multiple times. Matrick, by the way, doing a great Indiana Jones strat there. But you have to hit Crocomire multiple times to get him to keep backing up. And there's some RNG in that because he can stop and sort of scratch the ground, and it can take a few seconds. Whereas if you were to do the late Croc route, which is the world record route, you would be returning into this section with the plasma beam, and you could essentially just one-shot Croc. So that is one way that route saves some time. All right, so Matrick now grabbing that last missile. Ow, Sam. Sorry, she just woke up from a nap, and I'm probably gonna need to take her out shortly. She's not normally this rambunctious, but anyway, he did grab that last missile pack there in this Croc section. He will get one more here on his exit before he gets back to Business Center. Stump, in the meantime, gonna head down and grab his grapple beam, as well as those missile packs. And then Matrick is going to be getting geared up to head over to the wrecked ship. He's got to go to Red Tower first, and then after that, he'll be back. Down to the Green Brinstar section to do some cleanup. Unfortunately, missing that grapple, but he can do, with the combination of speed booster and high jump boots, if he stands in the right location and gets the right momentum, he can actually make it up there to jump. Very nicely done. All right, Matrick now back in the Business Center. Gonna head up here. Stump gonna head over here. Looks like he is opting to run a potentially maybe a Shine Spark or a jump strat of some kind. Or did he? Maybe he already got that missile pack. I'm sorry if I missed it. Maybe he got it on the way in. So it looks like he doesn't need to stop and get that. He's gonna instead grab the missiles in this room here. Gonna use a little bit of a deboost. Very nice. And Matrick getting the Alpha Spark strat. Nicely done there. And he's gonna start his Red Tower climb. One of the toughest rooms in Super Metroid, especially when you first start getting into speedrunning. This room can be pretty intimidating. It's not too bad once you get used to it, but it is quite a long room up. It's very big vertical room, and Matrick getting that very sweet shot and down grab strat to get up. Very nicely done. Unfortunately, got a little off on his deboost, and then because of the adjustment required with the newly acquired iframes, wasn't able to get the next jump correctly and ended up falling into a plant there, but no problem. He's back out. And he's going to grab what is normally the alpha power bombs here, but in this case will be the second power bomb pack that he grabs. Stump, in the meantime, finishing up that Croc section, he too will go and grab his missile pack on the escape. And Stump taking a extra swing there to get the right momentum so he can get up there and not have to jump. Nicely done. Matrick going to collect one of these supers from the CAC. He's going to attempt to do a short charge here. He's going to drop a power bomb, but he also wants to kill these guys if possible with that Shine Spark so that he does not have to wait for the power bomb lag. And with that, you hear Sam in the background being a little upset. Once again, I'm sorry that I cannot stay here the entire time, but I'm going to have to leave for just a few minutes to take her out. But I promise I will be back to keep filling in for this emergency commentary. So just enjoy Matrick's trip to the wrecked ship and his Fantoon fight. I will be back in a moment. All right, it appears that I have made it back just in time for the end of Matrick's Fantoon fight, and based on the emotes in the chat, as well as his health, I don't know what happened, but it looks like it was pretty dangerous, but he did make it through. Hopefully he will not have any trouble in the upcoming room. It's one of the only places in the run that is actually kind of dangerous from an energy point of view. The spiky room of death is coming up shortly, but given his experience, I think he'll be okay. And welcome in those of you from Speed Gaming 2. We've got a 100% matchup here in the Super Metroid multi-category tournament between Stump and Matrick. Matrick is in a bit of a tough spot here, taking even more damage. This is pretty dangerous. He doesn't even have enough power bombs at the moment. Of course, you know what he could do? He could kill this sponge twice and then Crystal Flash. He literally could do that right now. Holy moly. I'm scared. Someone hold me. This is a very dangerous situation. Very dangerous situation. Okay, we're through one of the worst parts, but it's still not over technically. He's got to make sure. I mean, it shouldn't be too big of a problem, but everybody's prone to make a mistake occasionally. He's got to make sure. Oh my god, dude. Maybe he's doing this on purpose. All right, he's good. We got it, ladies and gentlemen. We're So it looks like Stump has cleaned up his Fantoon fight. Matrick has been re-equipped with energy, and he's going to now head to start collecting the rest of the items in the wreck ship. Matrick almost getting the completed strat there to clean out all the enemies in the attic. Finally cleans it up, and now he opens the door and heads over to the right to one of the most annoying rooms in the run. This worker robot room is pretty terrible, but Matrick doing a nice job here getting through the robots without issue. Nicely done. Stump grabbing his next pack of supers there. I actually think, unless I'm mistaken, that's the second pack of supers, or excuse me, the second and third pack of supers that you pick up in the entire run. So now Matrick, the reason Matrick wanted to open that door earlier, those are gray doors in the attic. Oh, no, Stump, no, please, no. Oh, no. Very, very unfortunate. And it looks like Stump does not have a save of any kind. And man, this 100% race is that spiky death room was looming large in both runs. That's very unfortunate. I feel real bad for Stump. But he's going to get back at it here. Matrick, in the meantime, grabbing his missile packs. This is technically a criteria missile packs. But he's going to now head to finish cleaning up the last 3 items in wreck ship, which will be, in order, a missile pack, reserve tank, and the gravity suit. All right. Stump heading over to the Alpha missile section after grabbing his morph ball. And Matrick now going to grab these missiles and the reserve here. Using a power bomb to remove that Chozo statue. That item there is the reserve is gated by the speed booster, so there are actually, I guess in some cases, sort of two items that are the big gatekeepers in this run for in terms of routing, and that's one of them. You got to make sure to have the speed booster as you go to that room. The other being the regular missile pack in the GT room, because you have to have a space jump to get to that one. All right, Matrick grabbing the last missiles underneath the ocean there. And he's going to now head to the landing site to start working on cleaning up some of the criteria items. Promote the dash. Well, I appreciate the support, but we're going to keep most of the discussion here centered on the multi-category tournament and Super Metroid speedrunning in general. But it's good to see a fan out there. Hope you enjoy. Stump has managed to grab his bomb pack. I don't even know if you call it a bomb pack. I guess you just call it bombs. Probably most underrated item maybe in the game. Everybody kind of forgets how useful bombs are. And Matrick, in the meantime, is going to get ready to do his, I don't know if it's like pixel perfect start with just the wave beam, but he's going to be trying to hit this looks like, oh, he's still going for it. He's trying to hit this wraparound shot, and I will admit to everyone in the chat here, I am, I'm an experienced Super Metroid runner, but when it comes to understanding the sort of tech and computer stuff behind and the code behind Super Metroid, I'm not the most knowledgeable, but let me try to explain what just happened, okay? Matrick fired a shot that went, like, he basically opened that door, but from the other side of the room, right? So what happened was he fired a shot at the top of that room. That shot left Super Metroid going to the right, okay? And as it exited Super Metroid, it took a path through the Kingdom of Zeal in the year 10,000 in Chrono Trigger. And then as it passed through Chrono Trigger, it made its way over to the NES to go into Mario 2, went through one of the dream sequences, and then as it came out of the dream sequence, managed to wrap back around to Super Metroid and hit that door on the side. There's a little more to it than that, but that's the basic premise. So Matrick will now take this elevator for the second time in this run to start his green Brinstar cleanup. Stump, in the meantime, gonna be collecting his missiles underneath the bridge. And y'all will have to forgive me. I hope I don't have any more issues. Again, I apologize for, I'm not even really supposed to be here on commentary, but it just started like storming really bad here as well. So I'm going to have to, everything should be fine, but if anything, goes wrong, if I just suddenly cut out and don't return, you'll know what happened. Stump, it looks like he did not pick up the missiles in reserve tank the second time here, so he's returned for a second mock ball to get it. Matrick avoiding falling down there to grab another super pack and another energy tank. And then he'll grab the Etikun power bombs, everybody's favorite little creatures from Super Metroid. Thank you. I appreciate the love. What I lack in information, I make up for in passion. And a long history of childhood playing video games. Matrick now heading back here to the green tower. Going to use a power bomb to get back up here. And now he's going to make his way over to Big Pink to collect all of the items he either could not or would have been slower to get beforehand. Now that he's equipped with the speed booster, the wave beam, and the power bombs, and also additional super missiles. He's going to start off here by using that power bomb to not only bust out those blocks there, but I am fairly confident that it also opened that orange door over there. And now he's going to head in to get another power bomb pack. It's ironic, they're actually in the same room, just at completely different times. Looks like he's setting up for the Mission Impossible strat here. And we'll see if he can get the jump. But if he can jump fast enough to go faster than the crumble blocks, he'll get out. Very nicely done. This is going to change a little bit about how this room and the next several are going to be run, if you will. But nice to see that done. Reverse Slinky said something in the chat that some people will consider possibly controversial. Zelda 2 on the NES being the best Zelda. And I hate to lose friends immediately or ruin my goodwill, but I have to tell you, I wholeheartedly agree with Reverse Slinky. Zelda 2 is the best Zelda of all time. It is definitely my favorite. I think it's a fantastic game. And for the life of me, I can't figure out why people don't like it. But anyway, let's continue. I mean, let's be honest, man. Zelda 2 has Botwoon in it. Come on, man. That's great. Speaking of Zelda, I just recently started playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. Cool game. Unfortunately, given work and this tournament and other things, I haven't really been able to sit down and play it a ton, but I do think it's a great game. It's real fun. Matrick picking up that water weight energy tank, getting refilled once again, and actually getting a little bit into his reserve there from the creatures he killed along the way with that speed booster. You'll note one small thing of tech here. He's going to keep these power bombs equipped here, and then he's going to do a sort of what? Not sure what happened there. Anyway, he's going to drop a power bomb there. He's trying to open up an orange door up there that he'll come back to near the end of the run. And now he's going to head up here to grab the 2 missiles. Unfortunately, Stump having a little trouble with a Kraid quick kill, but I'm sure he'll be able to wrap this up here in just a minute. And down goes Frazier. All right, Matrick, in the meantime, gonna head down Red Tower and get ready for his Meridia trip. He has successfully cleaned up the Brinstar area, other than Retro, which he'll return to near the end of the run. So here comes the 2 break, and actually one of the harder items to get. It's going to require a short charge of some kind. There are different ways you can do the short charge. The fastest way is actually the most difficult. Let's see what Matrick. Matrick picks it up with no problem. He's now heading to Mama Turtle. Gets another short charge here to get up to this energy tank, and he's going to need to grab one more missile pack before leaving this room. Yes, we did have an unfortunate death by Stump, but I will tell you, Matrick, Stump died in basically the same place that all 100% runs die, like literally die, if they do, which is in the spiky room of death or in that general vicinity. Matrick actually got down to 2 energy in the same spot and almost died, but he was able to make it to the energy tank room without dying. Unfortunately, Stump kind of got stuck. I think he might have KO'd or got hit by one of the platforms, and then his reserves activated, but he lost his iframes in the meantime, so he took a lot of damage, unfortunately. So I will tell you this, it's not, I mean, you know, it's probably not as common to die in 100% as some of the other categories, but that doesn't mean it never happens. I have definitely died in a 100% run more than once, so it can happen to anybody. Nice D-boost off the scout there by Matrick. The scouts from the Chrono Trigger Ocean Palace have returned for their revenge after one of their friends was killed by that charged wave shot that went through Chrono Trigger earlier in the run. So they're here to try to get their revenge. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be successful. Real quick trivia question. Can anybody in the chat tell me the name of the creature that pops up out of the ground like that has the little spiky shell? It has the best name in Super Metroid. I'm afraid Goomba is not the right answer, but ouch is the correct answer. They are called ouches. Very nice. They're called ouches, and then everything else in Super Metroid is called a frog. So that pretty much covers the zoology of Super Metroid. Whoa, that is the strangest X Factor I have literally ever seen as a first attempt on Botwoon. I don't know what happened there, but Matrick must have been just frames early because every single one of the particles hit the hole right before Botwoon came out, and none of them connected. I have never seen that. That was very unfortunate, but he did clean the fight up very quickly afterwards, so nicely done. Looked like a clean enough grab. Let's see if he can get the last part of the full half here. He does. Nicely done by Matrick there. Stump going to head over and grab his wave beam and wave missiles again. All right. And now for another piece of trivia for the day. Look closely, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe Dragon looks more like a shrimp? Or more like a flea? What do you think? Oh, baby, we're getting a grapple kill. Nice. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I don't think that Dragon would be delicious, so I don't know if crawfish would work there. Either way, Dragon has killed lots of speedruns, so I'm glad to see Dragon's babies come and take it to take its body away, I would assume, to be feasted upon. So we have another visit with the old Croc here. Croc on the screen, so bust out your best Crocomire emotes. And Matrick is probably going to collect the energy tank here. Sometimes people will wait to collect it. Okay, he's not going to get it. He's going to wait to collect that energy tank until his third trip through this room. You can get it whenever you like, so he'll come back for that. Yo, Matrick with the swag there, with the speed keep, so he can bust through those blocks and get down to the floor faster. Nice. This Crocomire skeleton brought to you by the letter C. That was a multi-layered joke. Pretty bad one, but I tried. All right, Matrick is now going to head over to the spring ball location. He will not have to do the ice clip because he is equipped with that grapple beam. So he's going to jump up through that breakable block there, and he's going to get ready to chill for a little bit as the Shack Tool Robot digging machine helps Samus out. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest on the mic. Please say hello to Samus the puppy. Samus, say hello to the crowd. All the noises that you hear are being made by her right now. Hey, Sam. Yeah. All right. Stump grabbing his final missile pack there from this Croc location, and now we're going to allow Matrick to exit with that spring ball. He'll have a lot more options, movement options and strats for the rest of the run now that he has that spring ball, which he will utilize in various places. It's kind of a shame, spring ball being such a cool item, but not being able to be found until much later in some of these Super Metroid runs. All right, Stump going to get ready to try wreck ship again here. Matrick going to head up to grab his plasma beam, going up the toilet bowl. I've been told on good authority that this is indeed a tasty microphone. So Matrick here, let's see if he drops the power bomb here in the room to see if he can do a little bit of a faster strat. It looks like he's getting geared up for it. Not sure if that was the intended way for that to occur, but he's in good shape now. He's going to clean up this last pirate and then head back. So at this point, what Matrick's going to get ready to do here is he has to go back to the Botwoon energy tank. Excuse me, hit the Botwoon energy tank section because he needs to get the Botwoon tank, and on top of that, he needs to return to Aqueduct to collect some more items and also go down the left sand pit to get the final items of Meridia. So, you're going to see a few rooms that you've seen before, but that's because we have to go through them multiple times to get all the different items. It's ironic that you say Matrick is allergic to shrimp. My brother is actually allergic to shrimp as well as other shellfish. So that's actually a really it's a tough thing. That's not a fun thing to deal with. So here we are, Matrick getting a nice deboost from these sponges, or I can't remember what you call what the official name of those guys are. But looks like he's going to try the speed keep again and try to get this... oh, so close. Not quite, but so close. Now he's got to do a short charge. To get up here to this missile and super pack in the Aqueduct section. And at this point, Matrick will head back down the left sand pit so he can collect the Meridia Reserve and final missile pack. These should be the final items of Meridia before he will return. And most of the time, I think most people pick up the Kraid missile pack right after this on their way to Norfair again as they go to Lower Norfair. Some people wait till after Lower Norfair. We'll have to wait and see. But now that he is equipped with power bombs and is in the general vicinity, he can go collect that pack. Well, that was a pretty risky play by Matrick, but he did a good job of jumping at the right time and did not fall through the crumble blocks. Can that soft lock? I believe going down can soft lock and get you stuck. I'm not an expert on this because I don't run those strats, but I don't think those two, blocks or whatever that he destroyed on the first time up can reappear. So I don't think you can get stuck going up. But with that said, someone in chat I'm sure will know for sure and can correct me. Magnetar, I gotta say, I really appreciate you saying that. I know that you accidentally had a little typo there and meant to type Final Fantasy 1. I'm sure you just, didn't mean to hit that 0. But yeah, I agree. Final Fantasy 1 is the best Final Fantasy for sure. We'll talk about that again probably when we get to G4. Maybe you can get stuck going up. Yeah, I don't actually know. Maybe at some point we'll have someone here who knows. But yeah, Matrick going to go ahead and grab this missile pack here. This is a good time to grab this. And this, a lot of times, I would probably say the majority of the time that speedrunners run a 99%, this missile is the one to blame. It's easy to forget that one. So glad that Matrick remembered it. Stump, in the meantime, is heading back to everybody's favorite Space Ghost, Phantoon, to see what Phantoon has in store this time. Yes, I agree, Maid. But at the same time, it's a long way from the 1 to the enter key, and, accidents happen. Looks like we got an opening round mid here. Stump doing a pretty neat, looks like a double or triple or quadruple charge shot. I guess a triple charge shot with Spazer and Wave. Pretty neat strat. I don't know, maybe after 2 rounds he'll clean that up in the 3rd round with a super. I'm not sure. Let's find out here. Oh, he got a fast eye close, which is unfortunate, but he did have a fast reappear, which is nice. And so far his strat has been very successful. Phantoon closing his eye again pretty quickly there. Hopefully he'll reappear shortly. In the meantime, Matrick has managed to grab the best beam in the game, the ice beam, and will now grab the ice escape missile pack. Before heading straight to Lower Norfair. I don't know. I could be mistaken, but I was under the impression that there was a Final Fantasy V randomizer out there. Maybe not, though. I know for sure there's a 4 and a 6. I've actually played the 6. Not a ton, but a good bit. And I think it's really neat. But I thought there was a 5. Maybe there isn't. Stump has managed to finish his Phantoon fight. And he's going to head to start collecting more super missiles. Whereas Matrick is going to get ready to head down to the ancient ruins, Ridley's Lair, also known as Lower Norfair. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's send Stump some energy. I would really love to see Stump get past this section this time without any issue. This is unfortunately where the first attempt ended. So let's see if we can get Stump over to this energy tank and... Well, something just happened to the puppy. I'm not sure what that was, but unfortunately, she was very upset with something. I think she's okay, though. She was just lying down here, happily chomping on a chew treat, and then she got upset. I'm not sure, but I think she's okay. I'll check on her here. Matrick grabbing the missile pack and super missile pack in the GT room, and Stump has made it past the Spike Room of Death, but unfortunately has gotten stuck here in the water, but he'll be able to grapple across in a moment, and then he'll be safe. All right, and now Matrick is supercharged with that screw attack. He's going to be able to run a lot of cool strats. In fact, I think he just accidentally messed up the fast pillars attempt here, so he will be able to space jump with screw attack across this room. But you will notice that it does add a lot of lag as that acid is starting to rise. It's unfortunate, but still pretty fast. He's going to head up here and try to go over to the Mickey Mouse missiles. Stump is in the clear and going to head up to the attic to start the process of collecting a few more wreck ship items, starting with the missile pack over here. And then technically the other items that he's going to get here shortly are criteria items, but they're kind of connected to the wreck ship portion of this run before he heads down to get his gravity suit. For those that might not be familiar, you might notice that Stump has been shooting some of these worker robots with missiles. I believe the reason for that is because robots respond every time they are hit with a projectile, and so it is technically a little bit faster if you're going to try to move one. to shoot it with multiple missiles instead of just like a regular charge shot. Part of that is because missiles have a faster cooldown time, and also you just don't really need that many regular missiles in this run, so it's not a bad thing to unload several there to save a little bit of time. Matrick getting a nice run space jump through that room, and he's going to get ready to fight Ridley. He needs to hit him with 20 charge shots or a combination of charge shots and supers. The easiest way to remember it would be 3 supers equals 2 charge shots, and in some instances those supers will actually be a little bit faster than the charge shots, so it just kind of depends. You don't always have to unload any supers on Ridley, but sometimes there are cases where it would be faster to do so. And we're getting close to the end of this fight here. Not quite there yet. Matrick's trying to clean it up. And unfortunately taking a bit of a long sort of sequence to trigger the death. But not a big deal, obviously, in this circumstance. He's still in great shape. Going to grab this Ridley tank. He'll have 2 more tanks after this to collect, one of them being the Firefleet E-Tank, which will actually be the next item he collects. And then after that, he has the Retro Brinstar Ceiling Tank. Good question about power bombs. In the vast majority of cases, dropping a power bomb, like dropping it, is not going to be worth it. If you can use an X factor in certain categories, it's better. The only time that you will see a power bomb really kind of be worth it in most runs of Super Metroid would be in the low percent categories. Even though it does lag the room and you have to be a little particular to make sure it double hits for the 400 damage, that's typically going to be faster than trying to hit him with like 5, roughly 5 charge shots to equal the 400 ratio. And every X Factor particle does 300 damage, and to my knowledge, I'm not aware, I guess maybe other than Spore Spawn, I'm not aware of it doing any bonus damage. So 300 per to Ridley. So if you were to engage with all 4 particles, Ridley would take 1200 damage, which is roughly equal to 2 super missiles, because super missiles normally do 300 damage, but against Ridley they do double damage, so they're worth 600. That makes super missiles extremely valuable in really all, in all categories, in particular in low percent, and also in new route when you don't have the fully powered beam. All right, Stump managed to get his wraparound shot. I'll spare you the explanation for how that works, and or the repeated explanation. Matrick gonna grab his final Lower Norfair item here. and get ready to either destroy the Three Musketeers with his screw attack, or maybe clip through some of them with a plasma beam. But obviously, with this amount of health and this loadout, this is not a dangerous situation. Well, I guess I spoke too soon. The Three Musketeers got the last laugh there. Stump grabbing those 2 missile packs after the Gauntlet energy tank. That's another place where a 100% run can, in a way, die in terms of time. You know, if you accidentally fall not in the right place on those crumble blocks, you actually have to wrap all the way back around. It takes like a minute to get back up there. So good to see him get everything correctly. Matrick gonna clean up the items here in Upper Norfair. These will be the final Upper Norfair items he gets. He grabbed 3 items on the way in, and he will also be grabbing a missile pack in Bubble Mountain here shortly. Gotta love that Bubble Mountain strat. Very nicely done by Matrick. There's some cool aspects to that strat there. And that's the final Norfair item in all of Norfair that you're going to get. Sort of ironic since you do pass by it pretty early in the run. But he is going to now head out to pick up the X-ray scope. And then after picking up the X-ray scope, he will be heading back to Retro Brinstar to get the final items of the game. I can never remember. Let's see if I can figure out exactly how many items Matrick currently has. So I'm going to go backwards. The 100th item will be 230. 99 will be the super missile. 98 will be the mother brain missiles. 97, 96, 95, and 94 will be the 3 missiles and energy tank in the blue section. 93 will be the power bomb pack. So I think the X-ray scope is the 92nd item that he's about to pick up. So right now he should have 91 items, unless I'm mistaken. Looks like Stump also going for the Mission Impossible strat here. Let's see if he can get this jump past the crumble blocks. Oh, so close. That was a really good attempt. Just barely missed it, but that was a really, really great attempt. Matrick grabbing that X-ray scope, which in this particular category will not, be a helpful item. However, X-ray does have a lot of uses in a lot of glitch categories and other things as well, like GT Classic. There's nothing stopping anyone from doing a ship check to see if they have 100 items, but most players don't in a race. But it's not something that is illegal or anything. It's certainly possible if they want to do so. All right, so we got a couple big hoppers here. Matrick gonna go for a short charge. Oh, just barely missed it. That's a real swag strat when you can get it. Here's the last power bomb pack of the run. We've got now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular missile packs left. 1 energy tank, 1 super missile. Listen, I'm just gonna say, you know, I'm not a fan of saving the animals, and if any of you guys watched the recent terminal montage, Super Metroid run, you will understand why saving the animals is definitely the wrong choice. Okay, it's definitely the wrong choice. So I feel vindicated after that video was released. Matrick grabbing the Billy Mays missiles. And he's going to grab the beta missiles as well. And then head back up to the pit room to get the Mother Brain. Stump remembering to grab these two missiles here in Green Hills. In the Green Hills of Stranglethorn. Matrick doing a short charge in the previous room, keeping it during the elevator transition and using it to have one final revenge on the pirates in this room. Grabbing that next to last missile pack. So that should be item number 98. 99 will be coming up here shortly. He's got a super missile pack to get at the top of this criteria climb room. I mean, it's technically in the next room, but it'll be at the top of that room. And then he'll have the 230 missiles, and he will be done and ready for Torian. Yikes. No, that's not good. Not a good situation. Matrick's going to have to wait for that to unfree. Okay, much better. And so now he gets the final shine spark of this section. I don't think there's any other shine sparks in the run other than, you know, the climb or the final escape, if you will. So Matrick should be at 99 items, but the 230 item. Hold on, let me try that again. Matrick has 99 items, but the 230 missiles aren't one. Thank you. I'll be here all day. Nobody? Nobody? Oh, come on, man. All right, so now Matrick should be at 100% item collection, and he is going to head most likely down to Torian. Again, he could go check to see if he has everything at the ship if he prefers to, but not going to be something most people do. You can't boo a good joke, man. Come on. Just because you think it's bad doesn't mean you have the right to boo at it. Plus, everybody on the internet is too cool for school anyway, man. You guys wouldn't know a good dad joke if you heard one anyway. Oh, Jay Smooth, you're a big talker. Nice name, by the way. All right, so we got a little bit of a wait here by Matrick at the G4 room. I remember, or I guess I'll remind you that I mentioned that Final Fantasy 1 would come up again. I always mention this in G4. I find it kind of fascinating. I think it's cool that they color-coded the bosses to kind of go along with their theme. In Final Fantasy 1, you know, there's like the 4 crystals or whatever, fire, earth, wind, and water. So here in the room, Ridley is red, which is associated with fire, which makes perfect sense. Kraid's the closest thing we have to something affiliated with earth. He's green, which makes sense. Dragon is affiliated with water, and she is blue. And then yellow is the one that's left, and that's associated with air, and that would be Fantine. So I find that really cool. You know, Mushroom Boy, that might be the truest thing I've seen anyone say today. I appreciate you acknowledging that. All right, Matrick collecting these Metroids here. Gonna finish them up with a super here. One of the good things about 100% is you're loaded for bear. You have plenty of ammo, and so you can just unload as many supers as you like without fear of not having enough. I thought they were all gold. I like that. Slinky, that's good. I love gold. All right, Matrick entering Metroid room number 4. Gonna collect these 3. It's really neat how they line up like this. And he's got tons and tons of ammo, and he should for certain have 100% items, because typically if you're gonna not have 100%, you're gonna be missing one of the missile packs. As you can see on screen right now, he does have 230, so he should be good to go. Matrick gearing up for his baby Metroid skip. And he got him, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely done. You know, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. I think I've watched two different hundo races today, and so far we are 3 for 3 on baby skips. Nicely done, SM speedrunning community. Nice Zeb skip by Matrick there. So one small thing that you guys might notice, if those of you that have watched a lot of Super Metroid but maybe don't run the game, let me try to explain something. This is probably too complex, but I'm going to explain it to you anyway. If you just shoot those Rinkas, that is not going to make them stay disappeared. The reason that you see them getting shot and destroyed and then stay off screen for a long time is because they're being frozen first. Technically, I don't know how it works with the code, but the game still reads them as frozen, so it waits to unfreeze them to spawn them again, even if they've been destroyed. So, for example, if you're doing like a low percent speed run and you don't have the ice beam, and you try to shoot those Rinkas, they will immediately respawn, whereas if you hit them with the ice beam, they will not. Yes, the SpaghettiOs. Matrick has cleaned up Mother Brain 2 nicely. Stump getting ready for his Dragon fight. Matrick doing a stand-up glitch here while Stump cleans up the Dragon fight and grabs his space jump. Matrick getting in a few final shots here, and he is now going to rainbow beam Mother Brain 3 down to destruction. And that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the final boss of the game. Now all that remains is the traditional escape. Let's hope that Matrick has enough time to get out of here. Looks like Stump gonna do a full spark across the Coliseum. Very nicely done, very swag. Not exactly sure what that said, that text said there, but obviously it was filled with exclamation and urgency because it had exclamation marks. So whatever it was, Matrick has heeded its call and has decided to go fast to the end. Matrick attempting to get a blue bomber here. Let's see if he can... okay, he's not going to try again. Instead, he's just going to do the spark. I certainly don't blame him. I think the blue bomber is actually a pretty hard trick. And he's only got a few rooms left, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, since I was not here for the beginning of this race, I wasn't actually, signed up to do commentary for it. I am not in the SRL channel, and I usually sign in using LiveSplit, and apparently I cannot do that after the race starts. So I don't really know how to get into the race channel. But, okay. I just got some word from I just got an assist from organizer superstar Tracy M, who has reported that Matrick has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 48 seconds. GG to Matrick. Great run. That was very entertaining. Nice job. Okay, that's going to do it for Matrick. We'll wait a minute and see if he wants to come in for an interview. Let's look at that in-game time while Stump waits for Shacktool to do his thing. Clear time, 0 hours and 53 minutes. Getting a sub 1 hour, 100% collection time. That is fantastic. I would have never thought that would be possible when I was a youngster. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, Kip?
Welcome in, Matrick. Looks like we are joined by the winner of today's match, Matrick. Nice to see you. Congratulations on a great run. How do you feel?
I feel all right. I mean, the run was pretty good at first, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, you definitely pulled off some really swaggy stuff. In particular, I was a big fan of the speed keep. I don't know what you call the strat, but you speed keeped back into Aqueduct and then fell down, and then you almost got the jump going up as well. So what are some of your, you're well known for knowing a lot of tricks and a lot of ins and outs about Super Metroid that most people don't know. What are some of your favorite, tricks or things in 100% that you like to do?
A couple of my favorite things about 100% are actually the wraparounds in Crocomire and Landing Site, because you don't really see that anywhere else. Like, because normally, like, I assume when they were discovered, it was like, oh, cool, like, that's a thing, and it was like no big deal. But then, eventually it became something that like was actually useful. So it's always cool to see something, like, I mean, you've seen it before, obviously, where like ED or Snick comes up with something and they're like, hey, like this is a thing, and everyone's like, sweet, and then it becomes useful at some point. So I assume that happened at one point with that. So I think it's pretty cool. But yeah, also the speed keep in Aqueduct is one of my favorite things, and I personally, you asked what I call it. I personally call it the Coral Blue #2 deboost, because you do like a double deboost thing that like chain links, and that's a reference to SpongeBob if anyone gets that reference. But
Coral Blue #2, very nice.
Yeah, me and I don't know if you were around when he was around. Das Blur. Do you know the name?
I know the name, but you're correct. I was probably not running at the time that he was.
Okay, yeah, because he was like my best buddy when we first started, and like he thought he came up with that strat, the double deboost thing, which I think he might actually have come up with it, because people were doing the blue keep, but they weren't chaining those 2D boosts in that way that I did in my run. And then he was like, "Oh, dude, I came up with this thing," and he showed me, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool, like super cool." And then we saw Zeus do it, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, he did your thing," So I'm sure someone had done it before, but it was just kind of neat.
That's cool, and we do see the confirmation 100% on the screen, so congratulations. We do have a question in chat. We were discussing this earlier. I've kind of explained before that, as a commentary person, I'm fairly knowledgeable about all the runs from a runner perspective, but I don't actually know all the ins and outs of the code and some of those things. Is it possible when you're going for that speed keep to get up to the aqueduct missiles, can you actually get stuck up there? I know you can get stuck on the way down, but is it possible to get stuck on the way up?
No. So the reason you can get stuck on the way down is because in both areas, it's starting from lowest to highest. It's a set of not respawning, and then respawning speed blocks. So there's 2 sets of 3, So on the way down, if you pass the respawning ones and then lose it, you get stuck on the ones that don't respawn, and then the ones above you respawn. So then you're trapped. But on the way up, once you break the bottom ones, they're gone until you reset the room. And then if you get past the top, it just respawns and you're either up there or you fell down. So
okay, that actually makes me feel pretty good because that was my guess and assumption. So it's nice to be right for once. In the meantime, since we were talking about it, Stump just did something I'd not even thought about. He got a short charge off of that ledge and then fell down and then went back up all the way from the bottom. I really like that. That's good.
Oh yeah. That's probably has to do with, not trying to insult him or anything, but people that have trouble with short charges might do it that way, I guess, to get the full length. Because you know how like if you charge like right at the edge, you'll like fall right down.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So maybe it's like it helps out in that sense. Because I like to do that. Where do I like to do that? After you do the wraparound and landing site on the way to the left, I do that, and that way I kind of have like as much. Because if I'm low on health, I might want to jump to the left a little bit before I spark. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and I identify with that. I'm actually I'm really bad about. I try to remove as many short charges as possible for my runs. When I do 100%, I actually pick up the aqueduct missiles the first time I'm in aqueduct. I just run straight over there and do it off the ground,
okay.
And then I don't even have to think about it. It's definitely slower, but it's just then I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, it can't be more than like 5 seconds slower, I think, or maybe 10 because you have to go all the way to the right and all the way to the left.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad. When I timed it, I think it ended up being like, I want to say 4 maybe or something. So it wasn't too bad, but
what's your PB?
I do what?
Your PB?
Like a 118.40 something. I don't remember what it is. I haven't spent a ton of time on Hundo, and I still have a long way to go to try to improve some of the rooms.
Okay, haven't spent a ton of time. I spent a lot of time, and I only have a 122. So.
Well, I will say this though. I also came along later, and so in a way, like it's kind of that whole thing. I'm a teacher, and so I always think about like, what you learn as a student, and then as a teacher, and you pass on to your students. Technically, your students should pick up things faster than you because you have more knowledge and can, add on to what you know in addition to what your teachers taught you. I came along in Super Metroid at a time where a lot of the things had already been worked out, and so in a way, I just had more information faster, if that makes sense.
Right.
So, I don't really think that my skill is necessarily the reason for that. I think it's more I'm kind of standing on the backs of other people's work.
Right.
But anyway, Matrick, real quick, I'm sorry I kind of came in late on this commentary. I wasn't even signed up to do it, but I just tried to fill in real quick, and so I'm not fully aware of all the different circumstances. Can you tell me how the veto pattern went before this race?
I deferred, and then Stump vetoed RBO, and then I vetoed GT.
Okay, you mean low ice?
Yeah, low ice. Sorry, I was thinking last week.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, right? It's kind of operating in the same capacity. Okay, great. And so, with the win today, what does this bring your record?
I think I'm 2-2.
Okay, excellent. And as I pointed out earlier today, at minimum, the people who end up 4-2 are going to be at the worst going to have a shot to get into the playoffs with the play-in race and maybe even just outright in. So still definitely alive and looking forward to a great match next week with whoever else is 2-2. Is there anything, obviously we want me as an organizer and the rest of us, we want everybody in the community to enjoy these races and this tournament. Are you having a good time, and what's your favorite kind of thing about it?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing. The only gripe that I have is that I personally don't have the time to really, really practice, because I planned on, not to get too deep into my personal life, but my girlfriend goes to night school, and so I was gonna, play while she was going to night school. Well, with the whole COVID thing, she's not going to school anymore, and if I'm gonna have free time and she's available, I'm gonna spend it with her, obviously. So, I haven't really gotten as much practice in as I would have liked, but I'm still barely hanging in there. So I don't expect to finish too well, but just having a good time. But yeah, as far as the overall, from the perspective of just in general, I think it's really well organized. The setup is really nice. The breakdown of each week is, really nice. Like someone mentioned last week during my race, it was Nevid, because was my opponent. He was talking about how last week and this week were more so last week though, was a critical week because they can veto any percent and kind of force either triple bingo or RBO, which are both sort of kind of grab bag runs where if you're a lower seed, you might still win, even though because they could die in RBO even if they're a better player or whatever. Or with triple bingo, it doesn't rely solely on skill, it relies on just so the guy with the highest seed doesn't necessarily win triple bingo because it's so, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, this is just me personally, but I also find that to be one of the good things about the way we've structured it is, there's not going to be a singular person. And I'll use Zost as an example. Zost is obviously, fantastic, essentially one of the 1 or 2 or 3 best players on the planet, can run all categories, but even he isn't guaranteed against any particular opponent in every single case because there's just so many things that you have to de-rust, right? Yeah. So that's one thing I like about it. Everybody's kind of got to be on their toes, and it's really hard to walk into a race fully equipped to run your best possible time because you've had to prep so many different categories. So I'm enjoying it, and I hope people are too. I think it makes it exciting.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely wish something. I mean, the community has grown a lot since I have started kind of not playing as much. I definitely wish we had something as big like this when I was really heavily into it. I was around, I don't know why, but for some reason, everyone got really into double ante bingo. So we had 5 million double ante bingo tournaments in a row, and people were just eating them up. And those were really fun because I think bingo is just an amazing thing to watch because like we just talked about, it's kind of just whoever will win.
Yeah, and to talk about bingo for a minute, we have triple bingo in this tournament. The reason we did not include dab, we had dab in the last multi-category tournament. We didn't add it this time mainly just because we just finished a dab tournament this past summer, and we kind of wanted to have a bingo option, but maybe something a little different. But I do agree with you. I think I like bingo a lot because randomizers are fun and cool. But at the same time, I like there being an option where routing is important, but it's vanilla. You really have to think hard to how to put routes together for bingo. Mm-hmm. And it sort of flexes a different skill. One thing I will say about dab, though, that I love, and Feasel mentioned this to me whenever I went to the SpeedGaming Live event in October, and we had some Super Metroid tournaments. And he was talking about how much he liked dab because it's one of the only ways that a speedrun race you can actually influence your opponent.
Right.
And so I find that really fascinating. So I hope we can do more of that. But yeah, it's really nice to have some speedrunning content, and I really appreciate you being in the tournament. I hope you're having fun, and good luck with everything. So at this point, I'll let you say any final words if you need to, and then after that, you can go enjoy yourself for the evening.
Just like to say GG to Stump. He is a... oh, by the way, what happened to Stump? Someone messaged me, said he died.
Oh, yeah, I do need to ask you one more thing. He, shortly after you had your adventure in Spiky Room with I think 2 energy or whatever.
Oh wait, hold on.
He
hold on.
actually,
Let me cut you off real quick.
yeah. Tell me what happened.
I mentioned in the race chat, I had Moonwalk on. I have no idea why Moonwalk is on. It happened last race too. It's just like it's some ghost is coming here and like turning it on for me. So it's really messing me up. Like I don't know if you noticed, it messed up my Fantune, it messed up my Ridley. It was
Right.
just, oh my gosh. But yeah, so then I was like low health the whole time and it was just terrible. But yeah, go back to what you were saying.
So anyway, I got, you know how it is. Nobody is ever rooting for a player to die. You know, like it's even if I'm racing someone who's better than me, like I'm never gonna hope that they die, right? Like you don't like watching people get in those positions. So we were really nervous when you were in that spot, and then literally like a minute later or so, Stump accidentally kind of made a few awkward jumps and got like double hit, I think, by some of those platforms, and then it activated his reserve. But he just had enough energy to where it would kill the iframes, and so when he came back out, he died.
Okay. Wow. That's terrible.
It was a huge bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a personal rule about Spiky Death Room, and I think I may have mentioned this before. If that room even goes a little bit wrong, because I do the chronic strat. I don't know. You saw the strat that I do, right? For the room, you just jump in, and then
Yeah.
it kind of sets you up to run across that first platform, and you just jump across them.
Sure.
It kind of just, it falls into place like that. If the beginning of that, so once you get the beginning of it, it's kind of like you're good. If the beginning of that goes anywhere near awry, reset the room, because it's to me it's worth the 3 seconds, versus dying. Especially if I'm a little bit. If I have like 300 HP, I'll just jump on it and kind of work my way across. Like maybe deboost off the top or something. But if it's sketchy, reset the room. There's no questions asked there.
Well, I certainly don't blame you for making sure that you had it exactly how you wanted it, because if it didn't go the way you wanted it, it was going to be bad news.
Right.
So glad you got through there. Actually, I do have one final fun question for you that is sort of Super Metroid related, but not traditionally.
Okay.
By the way, I think Stump has Ridley dead here. If he just sits still, he should be good to go. Very nice. Oh man, Ridley's trolling him here. Holy cow. There we go. Okay. All right, so on Discord, your avatar or profile picture is of Yoshi from the original Super Mario Kart. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so if there were a retro Super Metroid kart, who would be your driver of choice?
Oh my goodness.
Who would be the Yoshi of the Super Metroid kart?
While I'm thinking about this, I'd like to add that my profile picture used to not just be Yoshi. It used to be him. It was like a GIF. You know how when you win a race, he like does that spinning around thing or whatever, and he's like,
Yeah.
It used to be a GIF of that. Because Nitro, you can make it like a gift, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wait, are you talking about the spinning around like when you're selecting your player and it spins until you select them, or like when they lose a race and they're spinning and they're all out of whack?
Yeah, when you select them, it's like they like put their arms.
Okay,
up
yeah,
and
gotcha.
they're happy. The first thought that I had was Ridley, because it would just be really funny to see him like in a little cart. But I'd have to go with probably just a Metroid, because I'm sure you've seen my old avatar of the Metroid with the mustache.
Oh yes.
So I mean, and plus, I mean, the Metroid, I mean, it's the coolest thing in the world. So
yeah, now that I think about it, obviously you're probably familiar with the old game. To me, a Metroid would be kind of like the Koopa Troopa.
Yeah, that's true. It's just the enemy that's always over there. Like, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, it's just like, a random enemy where there's like a ton of them, but you just get whatever one that one is in a cart.
Although I think
Oh, I'm sorry.
I guess Kraid would be the biggest enemy, actually. So maybe him in a Mario Kart would look funny. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Kraid and Ridley, or Kraid and Mother Brain would sort of be like the Bowser and Donkey Kong version. We were discussing earlier that Crocamire's kind of like Yoshi in a way. It's kind of ironic that we're talking about this now. So maybe Croc would be
Yeah, my profile pic actually used to be Croc when I first got into Metroid, or Super Metroid. I was like, oh, what should I make my picture? And I was like, oh, Crocamire, obviously, because he's cool.
Yeah, I could see Crocamire kind of like, how that GIF you had where Yoshi opens his mouth every time he turns towards the camera? I could see Croc doing that too.
Ah, yes. Dude, if anyone out there is like somewhat decent at whatever make that and send it to me, and I'll pay you like $1 million.
Yeah, we need to get that made because that would be sweet. But anyway,
GIF I think that exists.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say? I couldn't hear you.
I think there is a Crocomire gift somewhere. Because if you open him up in Smile, I think you can like go through each of his animation frames and you can just compile them into a GIF.
Oh,
But it's just
okay,
like,
yeah.
It's like him wiggling his tongue. It's nothing crazy.
Well, there's so many talented artists out there too. It wouldn't even surprise me if people, could just make something from scratch, digitally or whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have no artistic skill when it comes to visual art, but maybe we can find someone at some point to do it. But anyway, GG again, Matrick, and if there's anything else you'd like to add, I'll let you do so, and then otherwise we'll finish up Stump's run.
All right, yeah. Yeah, GG to Stump, and also thanks to everyone that's been a part of this tournament, all the organizers. Special thanks to MegaCat Studios, and I keep forgetting what the other one is. The people that
Balls Guarana.
Yeah, Balls Guarana. Yeah, that's an energy drink, right, or something along those lines?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought their name was funny, so I like looked them up, and I was like, haha.
Yeah, it's pretty clever. I like it.
Their slogan is like it gives you the balls to whatever or something like that. It's I don't know. It's humorous.
Right, I agree.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for the commentary, Kip. Thanks for hopping in. I saw there was no commentator. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I commentated while I raced, but you came to the rescue, so that's helpful.
Yeah, no problem. And obviously, it is fun to do that sometimes. I wouldn't always recommend it, though. I think the last time I tried to commentate while I ran was RBO, and let's just say it didn't end very well. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Matrick, again, and we'll see you in round number 5.
Sounds good. Take it easy, everybody.
That's your winner, Matrick, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to him again. And Stump here has finished all of his Lower Norfair collection, and he's actually one item away from completing all of Norfair. He's got to go down here and grab this power bomb. Excuse me. I said power bomb because he dropped one. He's got to grab this last missile pack here in Bubble Mountain. And in terms of Chabo's comment, I guess I meant visual art. I can't create anything visually. I guess whatever talent I may have is probably all ear. But Stump now is going to go collect, and if we counted it correctly earlier, his 92nd item, which is going to be the X-Ray. And after that, he'll start getting ready for his Retro Brinstar cleanup. So Stump's coming pretty close here to the end of this run. He's doing quite a nice job. I got to commend my boy Stump here for dying in the middle of this run and starting back from basically the beginning and sticking with it and continuing to run until he finishes. I love to see it. And now that he is equipped with that space jump, he has the ability to kind of move a little bit more freely through some of these rooms. Doesn't have to stop on some of the platforms, which is really nice. He's going to go up here. He can also screw attack these rippers, make life a little easy. And he's going to get a little momentum here and head over to the X-ray scope. I have another Super Metroid question for everybody. My entire life, I have seen these doors, not the door he just opened, but the door leading into X-Ray on the outside. I have seen them as orange and called them orange doors. But I've heard a lot of people in the Super Metroid community refer to yellow doors, which I would assume has to be those doors. So I think we can all agree that we have blue and green and either red or pink. Are the power bomb doors orange or yellow? What say you, chat? We got one vote for orange. We got anybody else out there who wants to put a vote in? Well, if not, then it looks like the oranges have it. So congratulations. Oh, we got another vote for orange. So looks like I've been right this whole time. Thanks, guys. Feels good. All right. Stump not afraid of those hoppers at all with that screw attack and space jump. Gonna drop a power bomb here to get through these blocks and head on over to grab 3 more missile packs and 1 energy tank. He's gonna keep this power bomb equipped here, drop 1 while he collects that first energy tank in the room there. Or I guess the first item in the room is that energy tank. He's gonna let that power bomb destroy those blocks so he can jump up to get up there to the John Cena bridge as well as the Billy Mays missiles. And then he will come back down at the end and collect the beta missiles there. I find it pretty interesting. I just, kind of think it's neat how it works out that like the second missile pack that you're supposed to get in the game, from a casual point of view, is the 97th item that you pick up in a hundo run. Pretty interesting. Interesting point about the pink and red doors. The only thing I'll say to that is, to me, I think the colors pink and red are closer than yellow and orange. Yellow and orange are still pretty close because, orange is essentially like yellow and red combination, right? But for whatever reason, I just feel like the shade of pink is closer to a traditional red color and than orange and yellow would be. Maybe that's why I find it kind of interesting that people look at the doors in different ways. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that should be item number 98 right there. And we got item number 99, the last super pack. And then the 230 missiles. Stump getting a nice charged ice shot there to freeze. Is it Bouillons, I think? The Bouillons there so he could cross over them without stopping. Nicely done. That actually can be a tricky shot. I think Matrick had a little trouble with that earlier. And then also earlier today, I can't remember, I think it was Cash Mod had a little difficulty with that as well. And Inmit might have too. I can't remember, but either way, Stump got it first try, no problem. Nicely done. He's going to go in here. And, those are the Puyos. Are those Puyos? I think the Puyos are the creatures that are like, for example, in the room before Plasma, which I'm pretty sure is different from what those things are. Those creatures that are in that last room, I think, are the same ones that are in like Alpha Power Bomb's room in Red Tower. But either way, they all have kind of strange names, so it's fine. So yeah, Stump should now have 100 items. He's going to go back to the ship. Let's take a look real quick. He definitely has 230 missiles because he's got 228 there on the screen. So he definitely has the appropriate number of missiles. We should read 230, 50, 50. We can see he has all of the energy tanks. I assume he has all 4 of the reserve tanks. We can see the grapple beam. We can see the X-ray scope. We've seen him use the spring ball. We've seen all the different beams. We've got space jump, high jump, speed booster, screw attack, both of the suits, regular bombs. I think we got everything, ladies and gentlemen. So Stump has his 100 items, and he is going to head down to Torian to pay a little visit to Mother Brain and finish up this run. For the record, y'all want to know why I know for sure that the ice beam is the most powerful beam in the game? Look what it just did. It stopped the speed booster. There you go. One more little thing, and there's, I know people probably get tired of me talking about Final Fantasy when I get to G4, but one more thing I do want to point out is if you think about Final Fantasy 1 with the four fiends, the Fiend of Air, Tiamat, I think is how you pronounce it, maybe. He's up in a space station. Fantoon is the representative for air in this game. He's on a spaceship, a wreck ship, no less. The parallel is perfect. To fight the Fiend of Fire in Final Fantasy 1, you have to go to the bottom of a volcano. Ridley basically lives in the middle of a bunch of fire. Perfect. Makes sense to me. And Stump not going to have to worry at all about his ammo, as he has plenty of supers here. Not to mention 230 missiles. So he's going to wrap up Metroid room number 3 here and head into Metroid room number 4. Probably going to try to group them, maybe not, depends. Sometimes if you have enough ammo in these rooms, you can freeze them individually. It's a little bit quicker, but most of the time, people are going to group these up. Got a nice super shot there, nicely done. And now, no pressure on Stump. Okay, no pressure at all. So far, we've had 3 out of 3 baby skips today. Let's see what we get from Stump here. Okay, so here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Stump is not going to go for a baby skip. So that means that we will exit this race still at a 100% success rate, simply because... oh, wait, he is going for it. Maybe he's just damaging himself down. I don't know. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to assume that he wasn't going for it, that he was just damaging himself down and then jumping over as far as he could. So we're going to say we're still 3 for 3 on the day. There we go. Oh, he's showing off that crystal flash tech. I love it. Let's go. And we're 4 for 4 on not getting an energy refill after the baby skip. How about that? Perfect. And here we go. 20 charge shots until victory is secured. Usually with this 20 charge shot fight in like Old Route or GT Classic or RBO or Hundo here, typically you don't end up having to dodge that many attacks because, like as we just saw, she had enough time to drop 2 bombs and now she's going to have 2 catch-ups, and that's pretty much going to be it. So nice job by Stump there, and let's see if he'll get ready for a stand-up glitch. All right, Stump getting a nice stand-up glitch here, getting in some nice charge shots on Mother Brain before it switches over to the Rainbow Beam. Stump going to get in maybe 5 or 6 more shots here. He's getting in. There's a 6th shot, and now he has a few Rainbow Beam shots, and he is finished, ladies and gentlemen. Nicely done. And Stump almost going to run a sub 2 hour time, even with a death, like 30 minutes into the run. Maybe not 30 minutes. I don't know exactly when it was, but it was pretty deep into the run. So got to say props to Stump for sticking with it. Definitely appreciate that. And he will start his escape sequence after a successful 100% run. All right, Stump getting ready for the final Shine Spark of the game. That is, of course, if you're going to kill the animals. I guess technically it's possible to have one more if you're going to save them. We'll see what Stump elects to do here, but he is coming up to the top of the parlor. And it does look indeed like he is going to go down and save the animals. Stump's my guy, but I got to admit, not a huge fan of this choice, but you know what, Stump, I forgive you. And ladies and gentlemen, Stump finishes in 2nd place with an official SRL time of, I have no idea because I do not have the channel open. But congratulations to Stump. We can already tell you for sure that he has a 100% item collection finished because of the ship save before Torian. So GG to Stump. Congratulations to him. And we'll see him again in round number 5. Tracy coming in with the 2 hours, 1 minute, and 43-second official time for Stump. Congratulations again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk for a moment about the rest of the matchups tonight. If I recall correctly, we have, I think, 2 more, but at least 1 more race tonight. Yes, at 9:30 Eastern, that's roughly about an hour from now, we will have Gameaholic versus Lomian Jones on SpeedGaming 2, commentated by 64-Bit Link. And then at 11 p.m., we will have a 100% item collection match between Hero 82 and Maniacal, which will be held on SpeedGaming 6 and commentated by none other than Tracy M herself. So, 2 more good races tonight to get you guys hyped up. Make sure to watch them if you're available. I will probably be in the chat for both. And thank y'all so much for dealing with my random comments as I filled in for this commentary. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't really see any chat or anything from like the race, so I don't know. Let me check something. I'm just going to assume that Stump is not going to do an interview, and I will go ahead and wrap up this broadcast. So thank you very much to everyone for watching. Once again, as Matrick pointed out, big thank you to Balls Garana and Mega Cat Studios for sponsoring our tournament. We're very appreciative of the prize pool that they have provided. And hopefully we will see you guys in the future races. Catch you soon.